This is the Lost Book of Enki by Zecharia Sitchin, author of The 12th Planet. And these are the memoirs and prophecies of an extraterrestrial god named Enki. Ea. I've created this playlist, History on Nibiru, and I went through all of the information and history we have about the Anunnaki's planet Nibiru. Now, it wasn't only Zecharia Sitchin that translated these works and wrote these books. This playlist has all the information that you can find on Akkadian tablets in the Museum of Liechtenstein. They were the personal collection of the Rothschild family that have been made public now. But it does coincide with the information here in the Lost Book of Enki. I just told the story from the tablets because it was a little bit more complete, being translated afterwards. So we are no longer on Nibiru, we are now on Earth. And we're going to establish Eridu, home far away from home. And in this story, you'll find how God created the world in 7 days, and where the original story comes from. Right here. The third tablet starts with Alalu's words. The fate of Nibiru is in my hands. To my conditions you must give heed. These were the words of Alalu, that he sent from dark-hued earth to Nibiru. And they were beamed by the speaker. They had telecommunications. When the words of Alalu were conveyed to Anu, Anu ran to his counselors to talk about it. Everyone was in amazement. They couldn't believe that Alalu had gotten a spacecraft, a chariot, made it through the hammer bracelet, and was now on Earth? What? Even the sages were amazed. They thought Alalu was dead. Could he be on another planet? Could he be living on another planet? They asked themselves. When they saw that the chariot was gone, they thought that Alalu was just taking it to fly to another part of Nibiru and go in hiding. They had no idea that this guy was going to go all the way across the solar system. Like, everybody was like in mode. Like, you know. So now all the commanders of the chariots were summoned, and all the savants were analyzing the beamed words. So they traced where this signal was coming from, where this message was coming from, and they saw that it was beyond the hammered bracelet. So they run to King Anu to tell him, look, Alalu's speaking the truth. He's not here on the planet, he's beyond the hammered bracelet. Anu couldn't believe it, and now he ponders on the situation. So Anu tells the assembly, let words of acknowledgement be sent to Alalu. Let him know that I've gotten his message. At the place of the celestial chariots, the command was given. To Alalu, words were spoken. Anu the king, to you his greeting sends. Of your well-being to learn he was pleased. For your departing from Nibiru, there was no reason. Basically, they're telling Alalu that Anu has no resentment for him, and there was no reason to escape the planet. If gold for salvation you have indeed discovered, let Nibiru be saved. The words of Anu, Alalu's chariot, did reach. Alalu then quickly answered, if your savior I am to be, your lives to save. Convene the princes to assembly. My ancestry declares supreme. Let the commanders make me their leader. Bow to my command. Let the council pronounce me king. On the throne, Anu to replace. And when Anu heard his words, he was a little bit irritated, to say the least. He's like, what? I won this kingship fair and square. The counselors asked himself, how can Anu be deposed? And then they start saying, but what if Alalu isn't telling the truth? What if he's lying? So they summon all the sages and the counselor again. And the eldest of the sages spoke. I was Alalu's master, his teacher. And he started to tell them that Alalu was privy to all of the teachings of the beginning. He was taught of the celestial battles. He learned of the watery monster Tiamat, and of her golden veins. That knowledge he acquired. If indeed behind the hammer bracelet he had journeyed, on Earth, the seventh planet, is his asylum. Alalu's teacher is basically telling Anu and all the counselors and sages and everybody else, look, I taught him myself. This guy is knowledgeable. He is borderline genius. He knows about the planets. He knows about the solar system. He knows about the galactic wars. He knows about Tiamat having the gold. He knows this stuff. So I wouldn't dismiss this at all. He knows what he's talking about. Now the problem was, how do we keep the kingship? How do we get the gold? What are we going to do? And I believe this is when they begin plotting, because it's presented as if things just casually happened. But as we all know with royal families, especially when it has to do with who is king and kingship and who's the rightful heir, they're always plotting, manipulating, and doing all these sorts of things. And this is exactly what happened on Nibiru. What happens on Earth with humans is just a constant repeat of what these Anunnaki have already done. Like, talk about making man in God's image. Exactly.